Hello. Good evening, how are you all? Jolly good. Well, thank you for coming. Thank you for inviting us along to have a chat about this today. As I say, we are Action for Blind People is a national charity, but we work locally, supported by the RNIB, to promote independence for people with learning disabilities. Hang on, I've moved companies.
You've diversified suddenly.
Oh, good grief. Visual impairments. Okay, let's try that. Okay, so nationally within the country, there are over 2 million visually impaired people. Now, scarily, there's only about 1.3 million people who know the fact. So there are people out there with sight loss that you're unaware of, and they are unaware of it as well. Those are the people that will be accessing your service thinking, oh, this thing's not very easy to use, because they're unaware of information and systems out there that can help them. Because in fairness, they're unaware of their sight loss. Sight loss is a funny thing because it creeps up on you when you're not looking. And it's true, it does. Most areas of sight loss, whether it's central loss or glaucoma or things like that, they'll creep up on you. And before you know it, you can't see. And before you know it, you're looking for people like me to come and support you just to do everyday things. The other thing about visually impaired people, blind and partially sighted people, is that actually we've got a whole load of disposable income. Loads of it, And you guys want to get some of it, right? So what you have to do is make your services accessible to us, to a point. So we can access your services, find out that you're there, and hopefully spend a bit of money with you, or spend a bit of time with you, or use your service. So, what is sight loss? What is sight loss? Right, if we all close our eyes, you can all close your eyes if you like, but if you all close your eyes, okay, that is not sight loss. When you close your eyes, your brain thinks you're going to sleep. So it just chills out, it relaxes, it goes, oh, I'm fine, no problem. Sight loss is different to that. Sight loss is about field of vision and whether you have it or not. So to start with, just so we're all singing off the same page, everybody stand up. Okay. Now, what I'd like you to do is turn to the person next to you and introduce yourselves. Come on, turn to the people next to you. Okay, piece of cake, right? You got up? Okay, so you got up and you spoke to the person next to you. All right? Turn and face me. What I'd like you to do now is I want you to look at your feet. Okay? And I want you to turn the other way and have a similar conversation. Find someone to talk to. Look at your feet for the entire thing. Off you go. Okay, fantastic. Okay, that's brilliant. Well done. Well done. Okay, so take a seat, or you can stay standing if you like. I don't mind. Okay. The difference between the two exercises. When you looked at your feet, all I did was reduce your field of vision by half. And all of a sudden, from turning around and going, hello, it's nice to meet you, good evening, marvellous, you all went, right, okay, hello, good evening. Who are you? Because you've got no eye contact. You've got no body contact, body language, you can't recognise it. Which reduces the ease of how easily you're able to communicate with somebody. How easy you're able to get involved in the world. This is about finding information. The exercise we've just done is verbally. But it's the same on the web, it's the same using a computer, it's the same accessing print. But this is about reduction of field of vision. From a point where you have no sight at all, which just incidentally is only about 3% of the population of visually impaired people, to having light perception, which means you can see the difference between light and dark, maybe a bit of shadow in front of your eyes. Then, all the way up through all the way up to where you might have really good, fantastic peripheral vision and a bit of central loss. So, for us to understand a little bit more about how you guys can help us access your systems, we should know a little bit more about how the eyes work, right? Because it's easy enough for me to go, right, okay, you're not half a field of vision. But what does that mean in real terms? Okay, so the eyes, we have two of them, right? We look out the front because we were hunting creatures. You know, when we were running away from dinosaurs, we needed to move fast in that direction, right? So, that's why our eyes are in the front of our heads, okay? And our field of vision is 180 degrees. Well, at least yours is. I've got a guide dog over there somewhere. So, it's 180 degrees. It's excellent, right? Gives you nice clarity. You can see fast. You can see quick. You can see fine detail right and close to you, and massively in the distance, miles away. That's because we have two areas which build up this field of vision. We've got our central vision in the middle and our peripheral vision on the outside. They do very different jobs, but together they give you this excellent vision. Now, it's a little bit more complicated than that, and if you do my course, I'll explain it a little bit further. But the thing about the central vision, which amazingly is controlled by something called the macula, which is directly at the back of the eye, directly in front of you'll go, the light travels through your eyeball, through your cornea, slap back through your lens, onto this macula, this point at the back of your eye. That does all your fine detail work. All of it. Anytime you read, anytime you see, you're looking at my gorgeous face, you lucky people, that's your central vision, hard at work. That's telling you that my eyes are whatever colour they used to be. What colour are they? Blue, I think that's in the middle, I can't remember. I can't lose my thread. No, so, but then again, you're going to look down at my visual awareness training book. So it goes flick up, flick down, that's your central vision, hard at work. Backed up by your lens, but that fine detail work, this quick focus, that's all your central vision. That's your macula, hard at work. It's a brilliant thing. Amazingly, size of a pinhead. It's incredible. Age-related macular degeneration is just where that small point in that back of the eye starts to degenerate, causing sight loss. You won't be able to see things quite as clearly. Things will blur. You'll get things called scotomas, which are small little blind spots around your central vision. And what those scotomas do, they're areas of non-vision. People say, well, it must be black. Well, apparently it's not, because I have central loss, and my brain fills in gaps, and so the scotomas are there, but I don't really see them as non-vision, because I don't see them at all. They're just not there anymore. Okay. That works alongside our peripheral vision. Our peripheral vision does four main things, okay? It helps us fill out this great 180 degrees. It detects movement. So when we see things moving out the corner of our eye, we really do. But it's our central vision that looks at it and tells us what it is. It also helps us regulate the light that's flooding into our eyes. So when we're walking down the road at night and it's dark, it finds little bits of light and chucks it into our central vision to make it work effectively, because that's what our central vision needs. It needs light to work. It also helps us detect colour, not understand colour, not see colour. That is our central vision again, working hard at work, getting our colour perception. But these rods at the back of our eye on our retina help us detect colour. And the last thing it does, and I'm struggling to remember, is, no, I can't remember what it does, I'm going to leave that. So, okay, so, those things together give us this vision. Give us this vision which works very fast, really fast. But just to make life a little bit more complicated, all this information going into our eyes, our brain cannot possibly interpret. Can't. It's just too much going on at once. We have millions upon millions of optical images going into our eyes at any one time. So a lot of what we see is actually made up by life experience and actually just good guesswork. We recognise colours, and then we just learn what they are. So as we're walking down the road or driving your car and you're seeing things, you're just understanding what they are. Reading is a really good example. When you learn to read, it's ABC, abaca, on we go. But now, as we read as adults, we see groups of letters together and our brain just formulates words. Yeah? Does that make sense? This is the same on your websites. This is how to make your websites more accessible. To make them nicely laid out. And Bernie's going to go in a bit more depth about this. So we can navigate them more easily. We may use a bit of assistive technology, which Bernie will go through in a minute. But if it's just somebody average Joe on the street with average sight, if we just lay things out a little bit better, make it a little bit more obvious in a nice sections and all that kind of stuff, make links clear. The worst thing that blind and partially sighted people hate, the expression, click here. Doesn't help, really, because it could be click anywhere, you know. Okay, so, just before I hand over to Bernie, because I think I've timed this really well, have I? Yeah. Brilliant. How many? Oh, I see I'm doing really well. I'd like to know, just by a show of hands, please, who's had any experience of somebody with sight loss, other than me? Okay, that was like a Google search for me. I asked the computer for information, and I can't see what it said. Okay? Welcome to sight loss. That is exactly what it is. You all put your hands up. I know you did, I've got some peripheral vision. But this is about how you're able to access that. And if you just take that away today, if I ask for information, what am I going to see? Then your websites or whatever media you use is going to be more interactive, more accessible. So I'm going to introduce my colleague now. It's Bernie Reddington. And she's going to take you through and show you some software that blind and partially sighted people use on their PCs, laptops. I don't think we bought any Apple stuff today. You know, as far as I'm concerned, the only place Apple should be is in a fruit bowl. But it's the... I'm very mean about Apple, but it is one of the most accessible bits to get out there at the moment. Okay, so I'll hand over to Bernie. So thank you for taking the time to listen to me. Cheers.